We are so deep here at MLG Championship Sunday. I am Tasteless, with me is Artosis. We are the casting archive. You guys been having fun?
I expected as much. Tasteless, this is the loser bracket finals. We have two Zergs up there. It's not just a bunch of Terrans like in Anaheim. And it's just so exciting, man. DRG, he's come so close to before to getting into Code S, and glad to say he finally has his Code S spot. Let's give it up for that.
And of course, with Code S, what we're talking about is the GSL at goldentv.net. That's where you could see the show Artosis and myself host based in Seoul, Korea. Have any of you guys seen that before? Excellent. So, going on to this, it's going to be very exciting. Sick, late Zerg vs. Zerg in this tournament. By the way, get on Twitter, hashtag MLG, add us on Twitter. I'm Call Me Tasteless, he's Artosis. Add MLG on Twitter, add MLG on Facebook. Get on Reddit, upload that in the gaming section, not just the StarCraft section, but the gaming section. And of course, go to teamliquid.net, the biggest, best site in the world for StarCraft, and talk about how sick this MLG is.
Yeah, man, it's pretty sick. I think that's all that's going on Reddit and Team Liquid already. Both pages are completely full of that. It's been absolutely wonderful, Tasteless. The loser bracket final, CoCa against DRG. Who gets to go up and play against Bomber? He did defeat both of them already. Knocked them both into the loser bracket. This is actually, these are the victims of Bomber right here. This is a victim battle.
These are Bomber's casualties right now that we have fighting against each other just to get one more chance to go in and do it. And by the way, they're requesting that we go, so I'm actually going to get this started right now. Guys, make some noise for the losers bracket finals here at MLG Championship Sunday. It's time, Artosis. It's going to be so cool. It's going to be on Testbug, MVP DRG, CoCa. And this is actually, I think, the only Zerg vs. Zerg we've gotten to cast at MLG, so this is quite a treat.
Yeah, it really is.
Over here, in the upper left location, we have our Zerg player, one of two. Give it up for DRG. Now moving on to the center right, in the blue, we have our other Zerg. Give it up for CoCa.
Well, I have to say, I think DRG might have a little leg up on CoCa here. CoCa's ZVZ record in the GSL, not too hot. If I recall correctly, something like 0-7, but most of that is from Nesty, who absolutely refuses to lose the matchup.
Yeah.
And, oh, Tasteless. CoCa is going for a nice quick pull. This is a great build in the matchup, a 10 pull. And the funny thing is, against any other race, this would be some sort of all-in that you're not going to be able to recover from if you don't do a lot of damage. But in ZVZ, you can actually drone up after it, and there's just so many games on which we actually will see the 10-pooler, after it's all stabilized and become normal, have like one drone more than his opponent. So this is a very valid opening.
By the way, I know everybody that's watching saw 2 extractors made and then canceled. That's because when you make a structure with a Zerg unit, you lose 1 supply in food because it turns into a building. It's no longer a unit. You turn 2 of them in there, you make 2 more extra drones for free, cancel the extractor. It's a neat little trick in StarCraft 2.
Indeed it is. Now we do have 6 Zerglings morphing. The pool of his opponent, DRG, is only half done. It's 15 supply to 15 supply. It's again pretty exciting. The gas being mined not really helping DRG at all. It may help him if he lives through this very well to do some sort of counterattack with their Baneling or Speedling, but right now that gas is just going to be less minerals for him to make defensive units and structures with against this rush.
Here come the Zerglings now, moving across the map. The drone going back home to go mine a few extra minerals. This is a very low drone build at the start.
Indeed, but he is making a lot of drones now, getting that queen, and in fact he's going to tech up into a Roach Warren just in case his opponent goes for Banelings or something like that. So here we go. We do have 6 Zerglings on the way for his opponent, and he's going up with his Zerglings, just kind of chilling.
Oh, I see. He wants to run on with 2 Zerglings around the corner while this is... And oh, I think he wants to just hide these.
Yeah.
That was a really weird move, Artosis.
Yeah, that was very peculiar, Tasteless. He has lost the other 4 very easily, and look at that. Found. CoCa trying to be a sneaky snake. He's caught.
You know, I don't agree with that move. I think it was pretty clear there were 6 Zerglings in there, and I think splitting them up was a mistake. There were a lot of other things he could have done with them. Sacrificing 4 just to hide 2 doesn't sound like a good move to me.
Well, it looks like this has not gone quite as well as he wanted, but it's 17 drones against 14 at the moment. DRG is actually behind on drones, but he has a lot more Zerglings, and that's going to count for quite a bit.
We got more and more Zerglings spilling down here. By the way, expansion hatchery coming up over here for DRG. Roach, Queen Roach at the ramp. Nice block at the last second from CoCa.
Yeah, he has it timed out just right, Tasteless. But DRG, of course, as you said, he is getting that hatchery at the natural. His speed has just finished, so he's going to have complete map control against this low econ 1-base Roach.
A lot of drones being pumped out here. I got to say, this build is beautiful here from CoCa.
Yeah, you know, he's timed it out just exquisitely. But what is he going to do from here? Is he actually going to go ahead and get his speed? Is he going to do a Roach Baneling all-in? What is his plan? Well, it looks like he's going to stop mining gas for now. Roach Horn is going up for his opponent. And I think we're going to see an expand.
And at the ramp over here in the center right, we do have an expansion.
Indeed we do. So both players going for the expand. His is a lot later, though, and DRG already making 6 Roaches of his own. It is really starting to look a little bit DRG favored, especially with this extra hatch, making a queen already. He's going to have a very good economy.
Now, in case you guys are confused about what just happened there were destructible rocks here on this map. This map is quite unique. You destroy those, then you can get access to the Xel'Naga Tower.
Well, you know, DRG, he's going to have to drone up a little bit more, I think, but oh, never mind. He's not even going to do that. He's making 12 lings right now. Looks like he wants to go into an aggressive mode. He does already have 7 Roaches against his opponent's 8, but 12 lings as well, 16 more on the way. Looks like he's going to get aggressive here. Attack with his Roaches across the map, and then just rally in Speedlings behind before his opponent really gets a whole lot of units.
Yeah, the beauty of a strategy like this is the Roaches are a little bit slower than the Zerglings, so you make a bunch of Roaches. As they're getting there, the Zerglings you made back at home all arrive at the same time, making for a very powerful and deadly attack.
Well, here we go. 10 Roaches sitting right there with a single Zergling and the Queen. Going to try to hold this off, but this is a decent number of Roaches as well from DRG and a ton of Speedlings. He's going to have to go up that ramp a little bit, and look at this, a ton of surface area there at the front. And DRG, can he break through? Beautiful transfusion on one of CoCa's Roaches. These Roaches are taking a lot of damage, though. The Zerglings, as they do get eliminated, CoCa is going to be able to make more and more Roaches and perhaps hold this off. DRG, though, getting so close to knocking out these Roaches. It's now 5 against 3 and a Queen.
So close just there. My face was only a few inches away from the monitor as I was trying to figure out who was actually going to win that back there. The second wave is going to come in here.
But CoCa is making 10 lings of his own. Some more Roaches on the way as well. He has a higher Roach count. His Roaches have more health. It really looks like CoCa is going to be able to stabilize here.
The Roaches all gathering up. The angle here, not exactly the best for either player. Now he's got the bridge. I think this concave may favor DRG.
Indeed, it looks like it, Tasteless, and CoCa backs up to let his own Speedlings in there. DRG, beautiful target firing here. Going to take out this Queen next. More and more Zerglings are rallying down, and he may be able to break him, Tasteless.
He will be able to break him, Artosis, spilling up the ramp. Very nice timed out attack. Partially CoCa's fault for the bad positioning. No way he can stop this now. We're going to have to go into game 2 very soon. GG.
Wow. DRG blocks the 10 pool rush, gets his drones going. As you see, he is pumped. He wants to get back up and face Bomber once again.
He wants that revenge. Bomber humiliated him in that game. By the way, I think CoCa's positioning was part to blame for DRG winning that game.
Yeah, that's quite true. I mean, he was making quite a few units there, and he got bad surface area during some parts of that battle. You know, his Zerglings in the back really not doing anything. His Roach is taking all the damage. That's not how you want to engage. So CoCa losing that first game, he's going to have to try really hard to come back. This has really been his Achilles heel.
Yeah, I think CoCa knows what he's been wrong. This is his weakest matchup, but he can come back. All right, we'll be back after a very short commercial break. Feel free to keep plugging MLG on Twitter. Spread the word. We'll be back soon. Welcome back, everybody. We're here at MLG Championship Sunday. Been some very exciting games. We're going to be going on to game number 2. Both players are requesting to start, so let's get this going here. Should be pretty exciting. The game is now counting down, soon to be loading.
Oh my God, Tasteless. DRG is up 1-0. Can he make it back for another epic Zerg versus Terran series? I don't know either, Tasteless.
Great map to have this on. Xel'Naga Caverns in the bottom left. Down one game. He needs to come back. Give it up for CoCa. And in the opposite part of the map, in the red, we have DRG.
Well, it is Xel'Naga Caverns, and, you know, out of all the games that I've seen CoCa have trouble with against NST, there was one Tasteless that we were really impressed with, and that was a little Zergling rush. He knows the Overlord scout pattern perfectly on this map, and we have seen him in the past go ahead and make an S-shaped pattern of Zerglings running down, dodging every single scout on the way.
That is beautiful. When he does do that, it's really smart. It goes to show you how he really understands the map, the Overlord scouting patterns, everything.
Well, both people droning up, and it does not look like we'll see any 10 pools because they're already up at 14 drones each. Will we see some quick expansions, or, well, it looks like both gassing at the exact same time, completely mirrored builds at the moment.
This is going to be very interesting. You know, CoCa, in the last 3 games here at MLG he's played, he's been dominated quickly and painfully, to be honest. Bomber 2-0ing him, then followed up by that DRG just kicking down the front door and, you know, making an arrest, I guess, for lack of good metaphors.
Well said, Tasteless. Well, you know, CoCa plays in such a unique style. And what beats a unique style, you ask? Well, I'm glad that you asked. What you need to do is have great mechanics, great solid and standard play, and not be rattled by the weird things you see.
You know, nerves do play a big factor, but then again, I guess when you get players to get this far, they've basically dealt with most of their nerve issues.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. Well, the pools are going to finish at exactly the same time. And speed, queens, and lings being made immediately. This is the most complete mirror of builds that you could ever see.
Yeah, there's not much we can do to really compare and contrast. It's literally the same thing coming from them. The exact same drone timings for going into the gas. Roach Warren, Do we have one
same
here?
Times, man.
Oh my God.
They're within a second of each other on every structure and every unit.
I'm watching Solid Snake fight Liquid Snake right now. Exact same moves. Now here we are waiting to see where is the branch going to come. Where is somebody going to pick a fork in the road to go in a different direction?
Well, we've already seen it now at Tasteless. Finally, CoCa starts his second queen. Sorry, that didn't sound more epic.
Yeah. Roach Warren about to complete. Both Zergs staying on one base. Very different from our previous game.
Well, with the second queen, CoCa is going to have some advantages. You know, he's going to be able to lay creep and get it to his ramp. He'll be able to block ramps if need be. He'll work up energy for transfusions. And don't underestimate that one. If you're both making roaches and one guy can transfuse and the other cannot, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. And of course, you know, when you have two queens, at least one can defend at times while the other one is going to transfuse as well.
Yeah. Well, right now it is 22 drones against 20 drones because, as we know, this is a game of drones in ZVZ. DRG is the one in the lead there, but of course, he has the second queen.
Second queen now parked out by the developing hatchery. There to defend.
Yeah, that's there to scare off any overlords. You know, sometimes you have an overlord out there and you want to kill it. In fact, he has now spotted that overlord, Tasteless, and is going to go after it. This is actually a very powerful move in Zerg vs. Zerg. If you kill one overlord, I mean, hey, now you have to spend that extra 100 minerals, and that kind of makes up for the money he spent on that queen.
It looks like we have a Zergling trying to slip inside, denied, and Artosis is 100% right, guys. Taking out this overlord here is huge. Look at how low the number of units they all have. And now we have a supply block DRG. One small advantage in his favor. Or disadvantage in his favor. And not in his favor.
All right, Tasteless, if you say so. We do have an Evolution Chamber. You do try. Evolution Chamber is going up for DRG. But CoCa is ahead on supply, 45 to 58. You know, that is the supply block, of course, coming into play as well. Both players' expansion is going to get up pretty quickly here. And we have 26 drones for CoCa, 23 for DRG, similar number of roaches as well.
Hatchery planted, drones being transferred. I'm really hoping CoCa can win this.
Well, I do too, Tasteless. I just want to see the maximum number of games possible, as I'm sure all of you out there do as well. Now, both players mixing in as many drones as they can while still getting the amount of units that they want. CoCa jumping up in roaches right now. He's been sitting at 26 drones, and he's pumping out mostly units at the moment. In fact, he switched over to only units. Meanwhile, DRG, he's getting that +1 ranged attack for his roaches. He may be planning a +1 timing attack. But before that hits, that's a lot of money you spent on that.
All right, guys, so welcome here.
Yeah, and anyways, over here, if we could see, fairly big lead here. I think this goes back to DRG losing that Overlord, having to spend that extra money. Now we have roaches in the move. Looks like he's going to be the first to engage. Meanwhile, a second Overlord kill about to occur.
And as that second Overlord kill occurs, that is going to be really scary for DRG because he won't be able to make units. Now, the unit counts are 16 drones now for DRG, 14 or 17 roaches against 14 roaches, but 25 lings for CoCa.
The lings come in. The units in the front always take the damage, so the lings, as weak as they are, still tank. The concave here for CoCa is still incredibly good, but not good enough as more roaches now spill down, chasing CoCa's roaches. It does appear as though the Zerglings right now that should be tanking for the roaches for CoCa are instead elsewhere, now meeting up.
Uh-oh, this may be too many units for DRG to hold. He does have more roaches and lings on the way, bringing the drones into fight. He can't lose too many drones, but will he hold? More roaches popping out, and it looks like these last roaches that are popping out should be able to hold.
I think it's just barely going to hold on to this.
Indeed, Tasteless.
And look, now he's sniping drones, realizing he's going to lose, that army.
And that was
nice save.
That was a beautiful attack, too, because behind that, CoCa droned up. He is at 34 drones against 19 of DRG, and that is a huge lead. DRG should think about counterattacking right away here because he is way down economically.
We have a small counter over here coming from DRG. He's probably going to go for the drones here. Nice control there. Does corner one Roach. And will probably leave after that. Yeah.
He's got to do whatever damage he can get done. He is making some more drones at home, getting that queen out once again. And CoCa is adding a macro hatch. So he knows that he has so many drones at this moment. All he needs to do is make more units than his opponent off of this greater economy, and he should be able to take it home.
I do love the macro hatch here. I'm thinking CoCa is pretty much in a very healthy lead. I think he might have to make a mistake rather than DRG making a brilliant move in most situations to not recover from this. Well,
it's 41 drones against 34. DRG very quickly catching up. And as far as units go, they're basically at the same numbers, very, very close. Neither player can really overpower the other at the moment. But when that macro hatch does get into play and a transfusion or two go down on it from any energy he's missed before, he's really going to get a nice unit advantage over DRG.
You know, it's funny. This is an easy way to tell. Actually, hold that thought. We have Zergling's coming in here, taking out one drone. Can he get two? Maneuvering over here. He may try to go into the main, but Roaches are there to deny. This is an indicator here for our blue CoCa that he feels that he's very much ahead. See the creep pushed out here, where Zerg units can move quicker on compared to the creep over here for our red Zerg, DRG. He's got it kept back. He wants, when an attack like this to come, for it to get there as slowly as possible.
Exactly. Well, it is time for an attack, Tasteless. He starts a layer and makes nothing but units. He's hitting this exactly at the +1 range time. It's going to finish as he shoots his first shots with his Roaches. Beautifully timed out, and he has a very similar number of Roaches, but he has a ton of Lings coming in as well.
The Zerglings are now spilling in. It's not clear that CoCa's going to make this one work either. As you can see, the confidence of DRG darts forward with his Roaches. We do have a few more Zerglings coming here, though. That actually is going to make the difference.
Yeah, those Zerglings are going to really help out here. DRG is in full retreat, bringing his drones down again. And it looks like CoCa is going to be able to overwhelm. He just needs one more rally of units up here to really put the nail in the coffin.
We have about 18 Zerglings on the way right now, as we saw on the production tab earlier, spilling in here. Yeah, now it looks like DRG's going to have to go up the ramp. The Queen is cornered. The Queen is cornered, and the Queen goes down.
All these Zerglings coming up, they are really proving to be all he needed, Tasteless. So much damage has been done. DRG's drone count drops to 20, even if he holds this. CoCa's 47 drones will allow him to make a far superior army, and it looks like CoCa should be able to easily take this game. DRG, he has to engineer something fantabulous to come back.
Infestor Pit on the way, and I have to say, you know, as impressed as I am that DRG is alive, I don't know what he could possibly do to recover.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it'd just be...
and GG. Okay. He doesn't see it either, Tasteless.
Okay, I was wondering. I was like,
we're not dumb.
What is your plan?
We're not stupid guys, Tasteless. He looked at it for a moment. He counted his drones. He looked at his units, his upgrades, his tech, and said, you know what? Not going to happen. CoCa beat me this time, and there is CoCa tying it up 1-1.
CoCa really wants to get up against Bomber again. Get that rematch going.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, CoCa was completely slammed. DRG, he had better games against Bomber. So I think CoCa's maybe a little bit more hungry to get to this finals to show, hey, I'm not actually a scrub.
DRG probably pretty disappointed with that game. That was a pretty drawn-out Zerg versus Zerg. It was one where it really took a while. You could see DRG deep in reflection right now over that last game.
Yeah, he's not looking too happy there, Tasteless. He's got to really put his nose to the grindstone, though. The next map is going to be Metalopolis.
Well, I can't wait to get to it, but before we could do that, we're going to take a very quick commercial break. We'll be back soon here at the MLG Championship Sunday. Welcome to MLG Championship Sunday. We're the Casting Archon, Tasteless and Artosis, and we have seen some insane games here in the past 3 days.
We really have, Tasteless. This has been an unbelievable tournament thus far, leaving us with one of the strongest top threes we have ever seen at a tournament.
And right now, we're going into the rubber match here in this Zerg versus Zerg. I have no idea who's going to win. We saw CoCa lose to a pretty brilliant rush coming from DRG. Then we saw DRG slowly whittled down by CoCa. So, you know, on Metalopolis, this is another one of these classic StarCraft 2 maps. They both have infinite experience on it. It should be pretty interesting.
It really should, man. It's going to come a lot down to where do they spawn, what do they open with. It's a very long rush distance, so it's quite realistic that we could see that rock, paper, scissors come into play with build orders.
Okay, everybody, the countdown is starting. Make some noise for the rubber match, Zerg versus Zerg here at MLG. It's going to be pretty sick.
That it is.
Pretty good. So the game's loading. For those of you who are unfamiliar with StarCraft 2, just a little bit of tip for the noobs here. Metalopolis, the most played map.
Yes.
More played than Xel'Naga or
over
anything else.
The course of StarCraft 2, it came out the first day of the beta and has been used almost ever since.
So down here in the red at the south, we have DRG. Make some noise. And to the north, his opponent, also a Zerg. He is CoCa. Make some noise, guys.
And CoCa, what are you going to do? All right, just a 10 Overlord. I thought for a second he might be going for another 10 hatch build. Not the case. So both of them opening very standardly so far. No super quick pool. And now the choice comes down, do I go hatchery first? Or do I do a speedling opening?
Zerg versus Zerg is a pretty unforgiving matchup.
Oh, yes, it is.
It's a matchup a lot about not just unit micro, but outmaneuvering, small engagements, a little bit of deception, hiding things very well. It's a very fascinating matchup.
It really is, and as you said, unforgiving. Probably the second most in the game after Protoss versus Protoss. You lose even a few drones early, a few roaches in the mid-game, and that can pile up to a loss later on.
Looks like, coming from DRG, we're going to have a very quick hatchery.
That's right, and CoCa is, in fact, going for what looks to be a speed build. Now, this is kind of interesting because the speed build against the hatchery, there's a little bit of rock, paper, scissors to it. If you want to go ahead and go speedlings first and then expand, you're going to have to get a baneling nest with that, just in case your opponent decides to go mass speedling with that extra hatch out, because he's going to obviously be able to make more than you. But if you go the banelings and he decides to just play economy with roaches, he's going to be ahead economically. So it's a hard spot to be in as the player going speed first against the hatchery first play.
Extractor completes 3 drones, now transferred. This should be pretty interesting. Note, Overlord placement was very important in that last match. We saw DRG's Overlords, and it looks like he might be doing it again, parking him pretty far out, pretty close to his opponent's base. He's got to be careful. We saw Queens last time shoot down the Overlord. Queens, in one of these rare situations, used as an offensive unit rather than just a defensive one and an economic one.
Well, CoCa is going to go ahead and expand off of 6 Zerglings with 2 more on the way. He's getting his speed. Meanwhile, DRG making 2 Queens and just collecting his gas, probably to get some speed himself.
Okay, Lings are coming down now from CoCa, moving into the base.
And there is a Spine Crawler on the way to be moved down to the natural.
He's got to use his drones very carefully. Only selecting a few to try to attack. Very smart by CoCa going for the Spine Crawler. That's the real threat here. That's going to force more drones to be pulled out. This is quite a tightrope walk both these guys are taking right now.
That's right. CoCa has to be careful. He does not want to lose these Lings. He has less larva available than DRG, so each unit's going to be worth a little bit more to CoCa.
Spine Crawler is going to burrow now in the center of the middle match. By the way, circling speed finishing. Did not get that drone.
I can't believe he didn't get that drone, and he does evacuate, realizing that this is a hard situation. Oh my God, will he get the queen? No! Beautiful pull away by DRG.
So, so far, really, CoCa has not made a dent
No, he is not. And down the ramp is going to come this Spine Crawler. Speed still on the way. A Roach Warren being put up by DRG. And of course, at home, CoCa does already have that Baneling nest.
Ling's now running back into the main. Not a lot of defense here. And he does go for this drone. Here gets one. But one is not enough. Two, that's better.
Two is better than one for sure. And he is taking the drone lead during this Tasteless. You know, he's micing around so heavily. And he has 25 drones against the 15 now of DRG. Another one going down there.
So far, so good. Roach Warren now completing.
And even though DRG had his hatchery up first, CoCa, with some great micro, some great usage of his speedlings, has taken the lead. 31 drones to 15, and that's a huge, huge, huge difference. Over twice as many.
And brilliantly, he got the Banelings out just in time. It's going to be very tough for these Zerglings to engage. One Baneling will easily take them out. Very smartly, he's sending one Zergling at a time towards these Banelings to try to get them to detonate.
Yeah, if you can get a Baneling to detonate on a Zergling, it's a small victory at Zerg.
Whew, very close.
Well, he's going to keep harassing with these Speedlings. DRG has to make his way back. The supplies are very close, but again, CoCa has a better economy at the moment.
Once again, you see DRG debating, pulling in, then pulling back out. It's a very tough situation for these two guys, knowing that this is going to be one of the most important games in the entire tournament.
Not just of the tournament, Tasteless, of their lives.
Well said.
You know, MLG, just such a spectacular event. Every Korean player wants to win it.
More Zerglings going up north.
Well, CoCa right now is actually adding a Roach Warren. And nice
losing half of that.
Little mistake there by DRG. CoCa taking even a bigger lead at this point. I mean, he's at 40 drones against 31. He's going to get his roaches going. He's already got that +1 going. In fact, it's further along than DRG's, and he's making a lot of roaches Tasteless. I think we're going to see a +1 roach timing attack coming out of CoCa.
Looks to be the case. CoCa actually handling this so well.
Yes, he certainly is, but DRG is playing really well right now.
Show me Artosis.
Making these spine crawlers.
Very nice.
He's continuing to defend and harass a little bit, but those spine crawlers are going to make a huge, huge difference in the attack. Roaches don't do so well against them.
So the spine crawler finishing up here, and you know it's close right now. I'd say CoCa's still in the lead with the 84 supply, but DRG is pretty crappy. He's pretty good at comebacks.
And he's putting up more and more spine crawlers.
So smart.
Yeah, that's exactly what you have to do if you're behind against a timing attack, like what CoCa's going to bring out here. And in fact, we should see CoCa leaving his base pretty shortly. He is making a huge batch of 9 roaches. He's going to leave all at once and rally Zerglings behind it and really try to punish DRG before his +1 finishes. But those spine crawlers are going to be done. 4 spine crawlers are going to greatly complement DRG's army. So CoCa is going to need completely overwhelming amounts of units.
The Roaches now moving down with the Banelings. I don't know if this is going to work, though. He's actually got a pretty solid spine crawler wall here.
Yeah, and he's got a decent number of drones, but CoCa behind this attack is actually droning up, so he's not all-inning at all here, but he is bringing those Banelings as well, and that can make a huge difference.
We'll see if he decides to use it. We've seen a lot of people sort of between these two, parking their armies outside of each other's territories, testing the limits, trying to force more Roaches, Zerglings, Banelings, and less drones.
Well, we will see. He's coming down to hit at an angle instead of right flat against all those spines, so Les can attack. And ooh, nice snipe there by DRG. Of course, right now, CoCa does have 55 drones to 38. His economy is absolutely crushing, and he's teching all at once. Oh my! DRG leaving his base. He is going to go on an attack now.
Yeah, the Overlord here spotted the new hatchery over here on the way, and this is getting interesting, Artosis. This is a little bit of a race right now.
Yeah, you know, DRG, the roaches that he's sending out, he has the same amount of roaches as CoCa on the way. Of course, he has a few more rallying up behind him, and he is taking a third behind this, but CoCa should be able to hold this.
Yeah, CoCa has a really good concave here, And now CoCa retreating, though, to get more roaches in here. DRG is going to have to turn around. I wonder if this game is going to look more and more like the game we saw before as he's slowly being whittled down.
It may be, but look at this. A third hatchery for CoCa as well. Both players getting more upgrades, and the drone count becoming a little bit closer. DRG still lagging behind there, 45 to 60. And that really shows because CoCa just has a little bit more of everything.
Ling's now moving up. He might want to try to snipe some drones here. DRG needs anything and everything to come back.
Well, he does, Tasteless. His layers just started, but look at this. The infestation pit is almost done for CoCa, and a few fungal growths in a roach versus roach battle make all the difference in the world.
They certainly do, Artosis. Double gas is being taken right away. That's going to help out a lot with those infestors. And infestors just can dominate roaches so easily. A small fungal growth can stop a large number of roaches, allowing you to engage them exactly how you please.
Yeah, you can get the superior surface area. You can just engage a part of the army. And, I mean, they can't choose for you. So dictating battles, as we've seen in StarCraft 2, is one of the most powerful things that you can do, whether it be force fields or fungal growths.
A few banelings over here in the corner, Artosis. Looks like he wants to try to slip these in and hit a bunch of drones. I'm really curious to see if DRG is going to be prepared.
Well, if he gets a bunch of drones, that is going to be huge. He does not have the larva to really support remaking them. You know, he only has the 3 hatches. Meanwhile, in the main base of CoCa, we do have an extra hatchery going up, so he's going to have that macro hatchery ready to spend all his money.
Get ready. He's going to try to assassinate some drones. Oh. Very nice.
Yeah, not too bad right there. Killing a few drones.
You know, at this point in time, though, it seems like CoCa is almost getting too big to fail right now. With that macro hatch, with his supply at 188 to the 140 of DRG, he's just looking too good.
Well, he's got that 73 drone to 62 drone advantage. He has been 10 drones ahead for almost the entire game. And he is moving out, Tasteless, and he's got a lot of infestors.
The infestors are going to play a huge role. This is going to be very, very, very difficult for DRG to hold on to. He does have some very well-placed spine crawlers. However, he has to defend in 2 locations. Probably not entirely sure which one's going to be hit first, and now he's going to find that out.
He's got more roaches and more infestors, but DRG, we're close to his base. He can make a lot. Here we go. The fungal growths are going to start going off in just a moment here.
He's trying to bait him into the fungals. Nice fungal growth there, beautiful.
Very nice, but the spine crawlers are going to help out a little bit. Does CoCa have enough to actually break through DRG here? Some beautiful fungals, keeping a lot of those roaches in the back dead. Oh my God, keeping them still. Infested Terrans are going down, and the roach number greatly going in CoCa's favor. He has over twice as much, over 3 times as much. Infested Terrans shooting everything, and CoCa is not going to be denied. He is going to get his rematch with Bomber in just a moment here.
Unbelievable. There's no way right now that DRG could come back. CoCa, who was cheesed out twice, not given the opportunity to play a standard game, has won that chance back once again.
GG. CoCa, the surprise of the tournament. Give it up for him. Wow.
Beautiful.
Well, I tell you what, I am now a believer in CoCa's ZVZ. He played some magnificent games there. Really outclassed DongRaeGu.
Really, really outclassed him. And it was funny to see how patient he was. In a long game, he is so solid. He gets ahead, he stays ahead, he doesn't take any risks, and he pulls through with a win. And that's going to be really interesting. If Bomber opts not to try to cheese him or fails in cheese, Bomber might have a pretty hard time in this finals.
Yeah, I think CoCa's probably going to take a different approach to Bomber now. Bomber really rattled his cage a little bit, so to say. I don't know, man. Who do you think is going to take the finals?
I don't know. Bomber, I think. I don't know. I guess that seems like the
educated
safe
decision.
Guess,
man.
But
it's a safe guess.
I could be wrong.
Well, I mean, that's it then, Tasteless. The loser bracket final is over.
It's over, guys.
Only the grand final does remain.
That's right. So please, guys, tune in for the finals. I'm Tasteless. He is Artosis. We're the casting Archon from the GSL, and this is the MLG Championship Sunday.